Things should be working well. All right, so I'll talk about silent is deadly. Being silent is deadly. Um, well, last time I gave a scenario or situation where I was talking about uh, dealing with women, male-female dynamics, dating, power dynamics. I more so like the power dynamics approach because it's just true. But this time, I'm going to actually talk about what I actually experienced the last, I want to say at least 12 to 24 months while I was exchanging, I guess, thoughts with those in the Manosphere red pill community, and why I mean, I don't, nor have I ever, nor do I ever plan on calling myself quote unquote red pill or whatever, and why I couldn't do it. I mean, I talked about this before, but I'm gonna go a little more in depth with some specific situations and how it relates to the silent but deadly topic. So let's get to it.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
Okay, so a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about actually, um, it's going to be quite a few. It's going to be like one long story time. So I guess I'll just go ahead and start it. So for those who don't know, um, I want to say back in 2020, I was kind of coming out of my cave. I pretty much took a hiatus from media, social media, mainstream media. Like I said, I don't watch television to be honest. I just watch streaming and movies and I got some books I got to read. But yeah, I was seeing too much bullshit propaganda, and I want to say back in college, I was like, yeah, fuck TV, fuck all that other stuff, and I just stopped, like all of it. So this is back in like the 2010s, right? And I chose to kind of dabble because when you're out here in the world and you don't really run into as many people in the world as you can online. And I wasn't really running into the type of like-minded individuals that I would like to run into in the world. It was just more of the same old same. Because most people today, most guys today are betas. Most women today are feminists or closeted feminists. They'll swear up and down they're not, but they share everything in common. So most people today are, I mean, they're average at at best. I mean, I gotta say that. It is what it is. That's just what it is. Well, I always strive to be better than average. I always strive to be as close to damn near perfect as I can. Excellent. I mean, I liked excellence. I didn't like to just be good enough. No, I wanted to be the best, pretty much. And I wasn't encountering enough of that. So I guess I got tired of kind of being solo for a long time, and I needed some insight. And like I said, because I wasn't encountering enough like-minded individuals, that means I also wasn't encountering people that I know could benefit my life, i.e., mentors. So that led me to searching online. And one of the avenues I chose was, well, I use YouTube to look up do-it-yourself videos when I was working on my cars and my computers and stuff like that. find out tips from using tools and whatnot. So I just so happened to one night type some stuff into YouTube, be like, I wonder if I can find somebody with a YouTube channel or something, because I planned on actually making my own. I actually talked about this earlier when I was talking about how I felt Kevin Samuels. He was close to what I was looking for. He wasn't it because I agreed with a lot of stuff he said at the time. This is before he blew up and right around the time when he blew up and after he blew up. And I agree with with a lot of what he was saying. I want to say probably like 60, 70%. And then, of course, the longer his thing went on, the more repetitive it seemed, and then the less and less I could actually relate to anything he was saying. And then that's when I was realized, okay, yes, this, it was kind of funky there. Then I found, of course, Jason Black, the business, and the rest is history. Yeah, after that, I was like, yeah, this guy's the truth. And now I see why I agree with a lot of stuff Kevin was saying, because he was really just saying a lot of stuff Jason was saying. So, shout out to Jason Black. Um, now now during that time before I discovered Jason Black, because after that I was done with everything else. I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I was looking for. So before I discovered the business and all that, I was in the Manosphere, and I was not part of the Manosphere. No, I was. I had just joined one of the little communes, Discord server, I believe, one of them. One of the ones I found was somewhat prominent. One of the young men in the Manosphere. Some people probably already know what I'm talking about. Some people actually know who I am from that, because I think some of the people from the Discord, I told them about my channel, so they might actually be watching. So my experiences there, it was an interesting one, and it made me realize that today, if you don't know, today, given modern society, there's a lot of scam culture going on. It's one of the reasons why I talk about propaganda and all this bullshit. Yeah, there's a lot of scam culture. I mean, there's a reason for it. I mean, de facto matriarchal society, women are more susceptible to the bullshit. Mystical stuff you can't prove. Yeah, that's you know. So scam culture, for that to catch on to especially in a community where 70% of the children are raised by single mothers. Yeah, it's likely they're going to be susceptible to scams, and they're going to be lacking in a lot of productive areas, the men and the women. And in this commune, I would discover that very much amongst those men, because those men, uh, although I did agree with a lot of stuff Kevin Samuels was saying at the time, those guys had problems with what he was saying even then. And mind you, like I said, Kevin Samuels was not, I didn't agree with everything he was saying, because now I come to find out he was repeating a lot of stuff Jason was saying. And if they weren't even willing to be on page with what Kevin Samuels was saying, they sure as hell ain't weren't gonna be on page with what Jason was saying. So that's why I was like, okay, yeah, I would be in those spaces talking with those people. And unfortunately, a lot of the guys, they weren't up to par. At least not to my standards. I was looking forward to being in, be in a space where they're talking about being the best version of yourself and yada yada yada, and men this, men that. I'm thinking I'm going to be a part of other groups of men, other six-figure earners, because I think at the time I was making six figures, but other late 20-year-olds that are making six figures and whatever, doing their thing, right? That's what I thought I would be. That's what I thought, and I was there were a couple, and that's why like I said, I stayed in contact with the few that I did find, but by far the vast majority of them, um, let me see here, the vast majority of them, um, they did not make the cut at all. I was not, um, I was not impressed by anything they were saying. A lot of them, I wasn't surprised. They probably were sleeping on somebody's couch or something. They didn't possess any significant skills or anything of that nature. They had no type of repertoire of skills or tool sets or anything like that, which is one of the reasons why they weren't, up to par financially, that is. And for some reason, there's this fucked up thing I realized with guys that and Jason Black talks about this too. Unfortunately, amongst black men, who aren't listened to because our women are so recalcitrant and whatnot. Even though some of the guys that actually do, at least to some extent, perform fairly decently, even they aren't listened to. They're just disregarded. So unfortunately, because black men as a group aren't listened to and respect as is earned, uh, there's a trait that these guys that black men can tend to take on, and unfortunately, it's fucked up. But unfortunately, it's like it's most relevant to the guys that aren't the most successful, and that's like they fucking talk too much. They talk way too much. Like, and I don't mean no disrespect or anything, but I'm just saying, if we're just speaking real, if they're bums, they're bums. If they aren't average, they're below average. So, I'm talking about the bummiest below average guys, and I'm just like, God dang, you guys talk way too much. And you think that they would be like myself. When I didn't know anything, I did not like running my damn mouth, especially in the presence of someone that might know something I did not. I learned at a very young age to listen and to learn and only speak when needed or when I needed to. Ask questions. It's very relevant to ask the right questions when you need to. It's very, it's there's the time to speak and there's the time to listen. I learned that at a very young age. For some reason, these little motherfuckers did not understand that at all. They talked way too much, and it's a bit of my nature. I do like to try to help. Keyword try. Um, that's one of my traits. I am a helper. I think one of my I did that little test thing, and it was like I forgot what the hell the letters were for it, but I'm one of those people that likes to help people. I'm a helper. I like to not only do good myself, but spread it to other people. I like to help those around me. I don't like to just be successful on my own. I like to help others, and sometimes I can overextend myself. I will admit to that, and I talked about that as being a potential unforced error. Spreading yourself too thin. I will say that yes, I unfortunately did do that, and because I'm a natural person that likes to help people, you know, in this situation, I mean, I was talking to some guys and I was trying to talk to them, and they were saying some dumb shit, and I was trying to correct them, but like I said, they talk way too much. And what's today's topic? I'm talking about silent but deadly. I'm not gonna sit here and try to talk over somebody. I really am. I'm not gonna waste my time. Like I said, I had did some work and I had realized, okay, everybody don't need to be helped. You can't help people that you can't help that don't want to help themselves, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and overtalk somebody. So if this little bastard wants to run his damn mouth to be heard, failing at everything in life, if he want to run his mouth be heard, by all means, you got the floor. I'm neither gonna leave the Durham chat room, or I'm just gonna be doing something else, which most of the time I was talking while I was working, or actually a lot of the time I was at work while I was talking and whatnot. I was working, and because I'm in a truck, so I can actually do that. Or I was at home working, and I'm just like, doing stuff, putting stuff together. So it's like, okay, you're gonna run your mouth. I'm just gonna take my attention elsewhere. I'm gonna concentrate on what I'm doing. And unfortunately, I'm not surprised some of those guys are still there to this day, running a damn mouth. Same outcomes. And by all means, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to overextend myself to try to help somebody that's not trying to help themselves. Or if somebody that's not trying to listen. I'm not going to do that. That's why I keep my mouth shut. Silent, but deadly. So they will suffer just as much as the females out here will. However, I will say it will be worse for the women than it will the guys, because at least the guys, life life is much harder on guys. At least the ladies, there's a chance somebody might have a side chick position for them. At least the lady who failed at life, she could still be amusement to some guy that might be able to take care of her. Yeah, that does not extend to a guy. Yeah, ain't no chick really out here trying to take care of no dude like that. Not for extended periods of time. No, it's not gonna happen. Life will be much harsher on these guys than it will those women if they don't get their shit together. Ain't nobody trying to give them nothing. Which is why usually guys get smacked in the mouth, and then they learn that they gotta do what they gotta do. Eventually, even if it's later in life, even if it's when they're 40 years old, which they can do. I've talked to some guys like that. They were 40. They had fucked up all their life, and they were putting their shit together. There were some guys like that, and they were putting themselves together. Hey, kudos to them. At least, I guess better later than never, but still, you know, it is what it is. So those guys, shout out to y'all. Talk way too much. Oh my god, I fucking hate echo chambers. I hate. Have you ever been in a room and it's like one person will say something, then the next two or three people will say pretty much the exact same thing that first person said, but maybe just slightly different. But they're all saying exact same thing, and then they're all like, and it's like It seems to them, it seems like they're having a genuine conversation, but they're all just repeating the exact same thing, and the conversation's not going any damn where. They're not asking the right questions. Why y'all over here talking about chicks? You little niggas need to get your shit together. There's bigger fish to fry here. I'm here talking about what I'm talking about because I actually got some shit together. I actually got a family, but none of them was in there. None of them in there. Yeah, well, I won't say none. Maybe there were like one or two, but the vast majority of them were not. Yeah, they weren't even that far, and I was just like, yeah, y'all ain't. Mm-mm. Y'all don't need to be talking about this. Y'all need to be getting y'all shit together. Y'all got bigger problems, more basic problems y'all need to be solving. Get some skills. But I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie. It does hurt my heart knowing that they're gonna be led by the blind. Unfortunately, it really was a shocker when you know, Kevin passed away, and I was just like, oh Lord, good luck to you guys now. But now it's just gonna be a frenzy for whoever can take over the throne after that shit. But yeah, I got an analogy and I also got a story to kind of relate how some of those guys might turn out in life, right? And why it's dangerous, when you're stuck in a situation like that, and why silence is really deadly. Because, like I said, the person that could change your life could be right there, and then You run your damn mouth too much, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm out of here." They're not gonna tell you. They're not gonna say a damn thing. They're just gonna walk away, and you don't even realize the chance just rolled right on by you. So the analogy I'm gonna use is drowning, right? Because if you think about life, and to some extent you can relate this to both men and women. You think about life and think of it like you're in an ocean. You're in an ocean and you're treading water. Some parents help their kids out. They give them a little buoy or a life raft, or some kids start out on a fucking mega yacht. Life's not fair, but whatever. For the majority of us, black individuals, especially today, you didn't get an inheritance from your family. So I mean, most of y'all ain't looking forward to an inheritance. So you're pretty much treading water, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can tread water, keep your head above water. That's the part of the struggle. You got to tread water to keep your head above water. But here's the problem: no one can tread water forever. No one. I remember doing lifeguard training. Nobody can tread water forever. What does that mean? That means, unfortunately, drowning is inevitable. So imagine you're struggling in life and you're one of those individuals who's hard headed, who's not trying to progress through life. So you're never really looking for shore or any kind of land of promise or anything like that. You just tread in water, just trying to keep your damn head above water. Unfortunately, this is too true in the black community. So you're just treading water. And then you get tired. And then you tell yourself, which, if you've ever heard drowning stories of people that drowned and then came back, you kind of tell yourself that even though you're treading water, you're tired as hell. You're kind of, you're spitting out water, and then next thing you know, it feels like you're treading water, but what you don't realize is your damn limbs are so tired that your mind's telling your limbs to keep treading, and you don't even realize that you kind of stopped treading. You're so fucking exhausted, and then you tell yourself, okay, well, I'm gonna hold my breath. I'm gonna hold my breath, and I'm never gonna drown because I'm just gonna hold my breath until I get my head above water. Now imagine that you didn't put yourself around the right people. You put yourself in an echo chamber. Instead of trying to get better in life, instead of learning certain skills, progressing through life like you're supposed to, the people that could help you, which we all need help to some extent, to get better in life, um, you ran them off. You talked too damn much. You acted a certain type of way. You ran them off. And then they was like, okay. And then they left. They bounced. So now you're stuck drowning in all that ignorance and all these people around you, the echo chambers, the yes men. You've been treading water all your life. You don't even realize what's up, what's down, what's around you. Because if you ever been in the ocean, it's vast. Like once you go under, if you get spun around underwater, you don't know which way is up or down. I mean, there's some tricks. I haven't been scuba diving in a while, but there's some tricks. But once you're out there, you're out there. Like, yeah, just water. And you tell yourself you're not going to inhale water. You tell yourself this. You struggle like hell. This is you struggling through life. You struggle like hell to you already done went under. You've been struggling so much. You're slowly but surely drowning now. But you tell yourself you're not going to drown. But one of the things people don't realize is there's this reflex, there's this natural response that your body does. And when you don't breathe after a while, and you can relate the breathing to finding some sort of source of intelligence or reason. But when you don't breathe after a while, whether you want to or not, your body is going to inhale. And this is what some people don't realize. You can tell yourself you're not going to, you're never going to drown, you're going to eventually float back up to the top or whatever the hell you want to tell yourself. But what you don't realize is eventually body is just going to inhale. And then the next thing you know, the struggling kind of just ends. You kind of just let go. And some even say it's slightly relaxing. You just let go. All that struggling, all that telling yourself you're not going to drown, and then the next thing you're underwater and you're telling yourself you're going to get back above water, and then you're and then you just and there's just calm. And you just let go. If you're lucky, if you're lucky, somebody can get to you, resuscitate you. You spit out the water, and then you realize the flaws, and then you make sure you never make that same mistake again. But if you're unlucky, you just you float away. And unfortunately, a lot of those guys, if they don't correct themselves, they're going to be the ones that just float away. Because what you don't realize is when you're surrounded by that ignorance, you tell yourself you're resilient to certain things. But I've actually taken a liking to group psychology. And what people don't realize, and actually, there's a reason why companies and researchers, they like to study this concept. But what people don't realize is when you're in a group of people, it makes you more susceptible to mimic or take on the attributes of that group. If you want to think about cults or things of that nature, like, oh, how could they ever believe that? Well, guess what? There's a thing called group psychology, and when you get a group of people together, it makes it easier for each of those individuals to believe in whatever you want them to believe. The world is flat, etc., etc. Insert any kind of absurd cult or religion you've ever heard of. And if you think about that drowning scenario, that last part of drowning, which is just you kind of just letting go. After you've been struggling for so long to try to keep your head above water and do this, and then you just give in. And that's pretty much you giving into that group. And like I said, some people they're lucky enough to where someone's able to resuscitate them successfully, and others aren't so lucky. That's why it's deadly. When you have the chance to actually listen to someone that actually can help you, they might even be able to. Like I wasn't even really looking to help them myself. I was just trying to get them out of that cult-like mindset, that echo chamber, that ignorant way of thinking because they didn't really understand something and they were just repeating what they had heard someone else say, whom I know didn't understand what the hell they were saying. I mean, even now I direct people. I don't try and teach people myself. I actually direct them to the authority. I tell them, hey, go check out that brother. He has it figured out. I'm still putting myself together. But I know I just think different. I ask the right questions, and eventually it's led me to the right sources. And now I have the right sources. Now I'm trying to reach out to everybody else, and I'm like, hey, check out this. That ain't right. This, check this out. This is more right. And if some people, I'm not gonna say some, most people don't take to it, and I'm like, hey, hit me up when you see how I'm living, and you want to be a part of that, because you can't make somebody, you know, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. You can't change someone else. They have to be willing to change. That's actually something I had to learn early in my life. And like I said, because I like helping people, it did not help me at all. Now I do have another story, but I might actually make that into another video. About a young man when I was in high school, and hell, I wish I would have said or did something when I could have, or at least more than what I had did at the time, and how I felt some type of way um, after certain events happen. I'm gonna make that into a story later. But yeah, I was in the belly of the beast, and some people, some people were there to actually better themselves, eventually work their way out. The majority, however, yeah, not so much. So hopefully you guys will get the right tool set and you won't end up sleeping on somebody's couch. But I gotta get back to it. So thanks for watching. Until next time, people.
お前はもう